5 early signs of autism every parent should know, but most parents discover them too late. Your child's brain is developing at lightning speed right now. Every single day you wait, neural pathways are forming that could determine their entire future. Miss these signs and you might lose the most critical window for intervention, a window that closes forever. But here's what gives me hope for your family. I've spent 10 years teaching children and have read hundreds of research papers and books on child development. I've distilled everything into 5 warning signs that could change your child's trajectory. You'll discover the eye contact myth that's fooling parents, the communication red flag doctors miss, and the play pattern that predicts everything. Watch until the end because the final sign is the most crucial. Skip it and this framework won't work. Don't watch this video if you're okay with wondering, what if, for the rest of your life. Tip 1. The eye contact deception that's fooling everyone. Here's what will shock you about autism and eye contact. Everyone thinks autistic children avoid eye contact, but 67% of autistic children do make eye contact. The real warning sign? It's not whether they look at you, it's how they look at you. Think of typical eye contact like a dance. Your child looks at your eyes, then your mouth when you speak, then back to your eyes. It's a beautiful rhythm that happens naturally. But for children with autism, they might stare at your forehead like it's the most fascinating thing in the world. Or they focus on your mouth the entire time like they're reading lips. Most tellingly, they look at you but not with you. Here's the test that Stanford University researchers use. Point across the room at a toy. Does your child look at the toy, then back at you, then back at the toy? This triangle pattern is called joint attention. If your 15-month-old consistently fails this test, you're looking at one of the strongest predictors of autism. Dr. Rebecca Landa studied 1,200 children and found this simple test predicted autism with 89% accuracy. But here's the hope. This skill can be taught. Early intervention can literally rewire your child's brain to make these connections. Try this today. Point to something across the room. Watch for that triangle. Toy, you, toy. If it's missing, don't panic. Just note it. Tip 2. The communication warning everyone ignores. What if I told you a child speaking 50 words perfectly could still have autism, while a completely non-verbal child might not? The real warning sign isn't about speech at all. It's about something that happens before your baby says their first words. Picture this. You coo at your 3-month-old. They coo back. You pause. They wait for you. It's like a perfectly choreographed conversation without words. But babies who develop autism often miss these rhythms. They might make sounds, but not in response to you. They're like musicians playing to their own beat while the orchestra plays something completely different. In my 10 years working with children, the ones who struggle the most weren't the quiet ones. They were the ones who couldn't find the conversation rhythm. Dr. Ola recorded over 1,000 hours of parent-infant interactions. Babies who later got autism diagnosis showed significantly less responsive communication by 8 months old. If you're finding this valuable, please hit that like button. I work incredibly hard researching and creating this content completely free for families like yours. That simple click means everything to me. Now back to tip 2. Here's your action step. When you make a sound to your baby, count to 5. Do they respond? Do they pause when you start speaking? This back and forth is the foundation of all human communication. If this pattern is consistently missing by 8 months, discuss it with your pediatrician immediately. Tip 3. The sensory secret that changes everything. A mother I know was quite concerned because her 18-month-old screamed every time she used the vacuum cleaner. The pediatrician said it was just a phase. 6 months later, autism diagnosis. The vacuum wasn't the problem. His brain was processing sound completely different. Think of your brain like a nightclub bouncer. It decides what gets in and what stays out. The air conditioner humming, clothing tag scratching, fluorescent lights flickering. Typical brains automatically ignore these. But in autism, that bouncer isn't working properly. Every sound, every texture, every light comes through at full volume. Imagine trying to have a conversation while someone blasts music directly at your ears. Here's what to watch for. Does your child cover their ears during everyday sounds like blender or hairdryer? Do they seek intense physical pressure by crashing into furniture? Do they stare at spinning fans for unusually long periods? Dr. Grace Bernick followed 300 children for 9 months to age 3. Babies showing unusual sensory responses were 7 times more likely to receive an autism diagnosis later. The game changer? Every sensory intervention can dramatically improve outcomes. Your child's brain is incredibly adaptable right now. If you know a parent who's dealing with mysterious meltdowns or sensory struggles, please share this video with them. They might be missing crucial signs that could help their child. Also, write in the comments below any specific sensory concerns you have about your child. I personally read every comment and will reply with guidance within 24 hours. That's my promise. Tip 4. The play pattern that reveals everything. Watch any typical 2-year-old play and you'll see magic. A block becomes a phone. A box becomes a spaceship. Their imagination transforms everything. But children with autism often play in ways that seem more advanced and organized. This actually reveals something critical about how their brains work. Here's normal play development. At 12 months, functional play. They push toy cars and press phone buttons. By 18 months, symbolic play. That car becomes a sandwich. The phone becomes a magic wand. Children with autism show you what scientists call restricted and repetitive play patterns. They line up toys in perfect rows like tiny engineers. They spin wheels obsessively. They play with the same object the exact same way every single time. Think of it like this. Most children's play is like jazz, improvisational, creative, unpredictable. Autistic children's plays like classical music, structured, precise, beautiful in its patterns. Dr. Pamela Rutherford studied 850 toddlers. Children later diagnosed with autism spend 73% more in repetitive play and 68% less time in imaginative play. Here's your observation task. Watch your 18-month-old play freely for 10 minutes. Are they creating stories and scenarios, or are they organizing, sorting, exploring physical properties? Both have incredible value, but the balance tells us something important about their developmental path. If you don't want to miss future videos about child development, hit that subscribe button now. I share research-backed insights that could completely change how you understand your child. Don't let these crucial tips pass you by. Tip 5. The social connection secret. Here's something that will surprise you. Many children with autism are incredibly social and love being around people. The real warning sign isn't that they avoid others, it's how they connect with them. It's so subtle, and even experienced professionals miss it. Picture the scenario. Your 12-month-old encounters something new, a stranger, a loud noise, an unfamiliar toy. What do they do first? Typical children immediately look at your face for guidance. If you smile, it's safe. If you look worried, they should be cautious. It's like having an emotional GPS system. But children with autism focus intently on the new thing itself. They rarely check in with you for social guidance. They're like explorers navigating the world using only their internal compass. Dr. Peter Miley's team introduced 300 toddlers to a remote controlled robot. Neurotypical children immediately looked at their parents' faces to gauge whether this robot was friend or foe. Children who later received autism diagnosis studied the robot intensely but rarely sought social input. This pattern shows up everywhere. A typical child falls down and immediately looks to see if mom is concerned before deciding whether to cry. A child with autism falls, assesses their own physical state, and responds based purely on their internal experience. This social referencing typically develops between 9 and 12 months. Its absence can significantly impact your child's ability to learn social rules and navigate complex situations throughout life. But here's the hopeful part. Social referencing can be taught. Simple games like peekaboo, making scary faces followed by silly faces, and narrating your emotions can build these crucial connections. If you've recognized any of these signs, don't panic. Recognize it as an opportunity. Your child's brain is incredibly adaptable right now. Schedule a developmental screening with your pediatrician. Mention specific concerns about joint health, communication rhythms, sensory processing, play patterns, or social referencing. What topics would you like me to cover next? Comment below if you want videos about dealing with emotions, potty training, developmental tips, daily routines, parenting hacks, nutrition, or sleep strategies. Here's something that might terrify you as a parent. New research shows that the average toddler spends 7 hours daily looking at screens. Scientists are discovering that excessive screen time can actually mimic autism symptoms so perfectly that even specialists get confused. The question keeping researchers awake at night? What if the autism signs you're seeing aren't autism at all, but something far more sinister happening to your child's developing brain every single day? The shocking truth about what screens are really doing to your toddler's neural pathways and the simple changes that could reverse the damage is revealed in my next video. Click here now. And remember, you've got this and I've got your back.